This just got announced. Northwest Arkansas officially is finally building 3D printed concrete homes right in Rogers, Arkansas. Today we're talking about who is building them, who are they for, and why Northwest Arkansas in general. So let's talk about that. Hey everybody, if you don't know who I am, my name is Phillip Shepard. I'm a local real estate agent located right here in Northwest Arkansas. If you weren't aware, I actually was a real estate broker located in the dumpster fire, the horrible, the hellscape, also known as Illinois, also known as Chicago. The worst. Anyways, I was a real estate broker out in Chicago and I started to look for the best place to live in America. So I started looking at all across America. Huntsville, Alabama, Carolinas, Colorado, Boise, Phoenix, you name it. I've probably been there or researched to try to find the best place to live in America. And by far the best place to live in America, that's a mouthful, is Northwest Arkansas. So if you're going to talk about why I chose Northwest Arkansas versus anywhere else in America, let's meet for coffee, let's talk on the phone, let's text message, whatever the case is, let's talk about why I chose Northwest Arkansas versus anywhere else in America. Now, if you haven't been down to Northwest Arkansas quite yet, I made something called the NWA Starter Pack. Sounds exactly what it is. It's literally a starter pack full of all the cool things Northwest Arkansas. What's going on in downtown Bentonville? What's going on in Fayetteville? What are the schools like? What are the hospitals like? All the things you want to know about Northwest Arkansas, boop, 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 boop. Package, shipped right to your home, literally right to your home. Enter your name below, enter your address below, literally it's a package I ship right to your home. So enter your information below, I'll make sure they get that package shipped to you right away. Also, side note, it does come with your first free mountain bike, so that's pretty cool. And I know what you're thinking, It is my favorite four-letter F word. Free! So enter your information below, I'll make sure they get the package shipped to you right away. All right, so let's talk briefly about some of the general info that's happening when it comes to these new 3D printed homes happening in Northwest Arkansas. First off, the interesting thing is that they are going to be the first 3D printed homes in Northwest Arkansas. I know that this project has been in the works for a couple of years now, but I think it's finally, obviously it's really happening this year. The actual date of completion is definitely this summer, late summer-ish, and they're going to start construction here, I would assume in about pretty soon, honestly, start prepping the ground at least. But regardless, the actual land, actual home should be downtown Rogers off First Street. So they're gonna be connected really close to downtown Rogers on the Bricks downtown section, not the Pinnacle side. Two downtown sections of Rogers, at least I consider it. One is over by Pinnacle, that's near the Walmart Amphitheater, near Dave & Buster's, near the Topgolf, near that whole area over there. Then we have the Bricks downtown section of Rogers, which is very similar to downtown Bentonville. That's gonna be very community-centric, more family-focused. A lot of they have the aqua park there. They have obviously the huge jump center for bikes over there as well. And then they have Lake Atlanta over there. But regardless, it's gonna be over on First Street, really close to downtown Rogers. The city of Rogers actually owned the property before I did a little research. They sold it to them for about $50,000. And so this is going to be one of the first project happening for 3D printed homes in actual Arkansas, and not even that, but Northwest Arkansas, obviously. And the second thing we need to jump into about this new 3D home project happening in Northwest Arkansas, the company who's doing it, not familiar with it, but at the same time, I'm not a 3D printed connoisseur of businesses, so every name that was thrown at me, I'd be like, sounds good to me. But Alquist 3D, they're the ones doing the project. They're based out of Colorado. But the interesting thing that I didn't realize is that they actually will be two-story homes, and it'll be the first time in America that they actually have done a 3D printed two-story home in America. So pretty wild. So why not Northwest Arkansas? Northwest Arkansas is known for definitely taking risks, entrepreneurial spirit. So why not? That's one thing that I understood, but I figured was gonna be almost nearly impossible, was to, I figure you do a 3D printed bottom and then wood top, wrap it in some sort of obviously siding or whatever the case is. But obviously they figured out a way to do two-story 3D printed homes. So that's pretty cool. We'll see how that turns out. I'm sure it'll be fine, because I'm sure this is not the first one they've ever done, but maybe the first one they will sell publicly, obviously. But regardless, that is super interesting that they're gonna actually do that, because one of the things in Northwest Arkansas is two-story homes are becoming more popular. Back 5-10 years ago, all you would really see is one-story homes. And that was because there was obviously still a ton of land in Arkansas, in Northwest Arkansas, but people really wanted that first-story home a lot of times. But in the last 5 to probably 3 years, two-story homes are becoming more popular. I was more used to them in Chicagoland area because land was tighter there, and so you really had to build up versus anything. Now in Chicagoland, in a defense, there was basements there a lot of times, so you had almost 3 stories in some fashion, which is real nice. But regardless, here in Arkansas, we never have basements. And so we have to deal with like 1 stories, or now we're dealing with 2 stories. So it is nice to actually have a 2-story house versus just a 1-story in general. So this will be interesting to see how this turns out. And before we jump on to the next point, I have something brand new called Instant Home Updates. So maybe you're looking to move to the area and using things like Realtor.com, Zillow.com, or Redfin. Way too slow. Notifications, way too slow. That's why I made something called Instant Home Updates. Sounds exactly what it is, literally Instant Home Updates. So enter your information below: name, square footage, bedroom, bathrooms. Where do you want to move to in Northwest Arkansas? That's kind of important. Let me know with all the information below. Make sure you don't miss a single notification when it comes for homes for sale or for rent, all in Northwest Arkansas. Also, side note, every single Friday I send an email out to just kind of talk about all the cool things in Northwest Arkansas. What's going on in downtown Bentonville? What's going on in Fayetteville? What is going on in downtown Rogers? What's going on in the amphitheater? What's going on over at Bella Vista? What's going on over? There are so many things. When are the Razorbacks playing? So many things all the time. Enter your email below. I'll get that email out to you every single Friday. But sadly, side note, you will get a little fear of missing out, little FOMO, so to speak. But I promise you will be the most informed person eventually when you make your way down to Northwest Arkansas. And the third thing we need to talk about when it comes to these brand new 3D printed concrete homes going in downtown Rogers. Now, this is the big question of the day. Who is this for? Who are these designed for? Are people buying these? Is this land that's been actually like sold off and we have builders doing this? Not at all. We'll talk about the next reason who actually is doing this in a second, but the main reason is who is this for? And this goes back to something we'll talk about in a second, which is the council. But the overarching theme for Northwest Arkansas that they're trying to solve, that they're trying to avoid Austin, trying to avoid Portland, trying to avoid Seattle, trying to avoid LA, all of the cities we know that where housing got out of control. What we're trying to do is making sure that essentially that we have ways to create affordable housing for nurses, firefighters, police officers, teachers, etc. Any one of those kind of professions that is obviously very structurally needed for obviously a society in Northwest Arkansas, that they can't afford housing because it gets too out of control. Now, just to clarify, if you're watching this for the first time, housing is not out of control in Northwest Arkansas in any shape or form. But what has happened is that they have Northwest Arkansas, the council, and other entities in the area have seen what has happened to other cities when it's not kind of planned ahead. So we have taken their problems and saying, oh, we should avoid this. And now this is us trying to avoid the problem. And this is one of a solution that they're trying to do. 3D printed concrete homes is a solution because obviously the cost of it will go down significantly. The crazy thing is that they say that they can build these homes in 30 hours. Now, I don't mean like 30 hours from like start to finish, like 30 3D printed working hours, so to speak. So it might take 2 weeks-ish, but regardless, based on stopping and going, that's my assumption there. I'm not necessarily a 3D printer expert regardless, but these are actually designed for that kind of core profession of those people. So that's who it's designed for, because if this works out quite well, it will definitely change the housing cost in Northwest Arkansas, and there will have to be some adjustments made because we can't just like toss half cost homes into the market because that'll change things drastically. So I'm sure there'll be definitely a stair-step process in some fashion. But anyways, these are designed for that kind of professional level, because if they can't afford homes that this kind of profession can't, then we're kind of in a little bit of trouble there, to say the least. And the fourth and final thing we need to talk about when it comes to these brand new, first ever 2-story 3D printed homes happening in downtown Rogers. And the other big elephant in the room is, who is this done by? Who's the man behind the curtain, so to speak? We talked about who's this for. Let's talk about who this is made by. So if you weren't aware, maybe you're watching this for the first time or kind of like discovering Northwest Arkansas. This is very unique to Northwest Arkansas that I discovered, even part of me looking around America, like for unique factors of an area. There's something called the Northwest Arkansas Council. Let's just be clear what it is. It is a slush fund of money basically created by mid to large corporations to basically do projects to make the area better. That is a funnel system to make projects done in Northwest Arkansas, whether it's trail systems or new roads or infrastructure or blah, 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 blah. Like, they're the ones that actually make things happen. They're the ones that negotiate a lot of times with airplanes and larger air flights to make sure that XNA has affordable flights. They go back to make sure the trail systems are awesome. One of the core pillars of the Northwest Arkansas Council is called groundwork. There's a person that oversees all of that named Duke. McLarty. I've actually met him before at an event a couple times. But regardless, he oversees groundwork, which is essentially the pillar to make sure that affordable housing continues to happen in Northwest Arkansas. So that is kind of the council's project to bring those kind of things into the area, those unique kind of ideas, to think outside the box, to say, okay, we can't just keep building single family home, one story forever, because we'll run out of land, or not everyone wants that and not everyone needs that. And so how do we make things more affordable or change the system, etc.? This is one way that they're going to innovate and try to do that. So the council is the one happening this. They're the one who actually bought the land from Rogers. They're the ones actually for actually doing the project, and eventually can be the ones that actually either, I don't know if they're going to lease them or sell them or what their plans is. Once it actually enters the market for sale, I'm curious to see how that'll shake out. I did talk to a lender about this, about how once we get a couple these homes sold as a baseline, then we can use them as comparables. So at the first part, we can't necessarily sell them to the secondary market when it comes to like Freddie and Fannie Mac, so to speak, but we can keep them in-house for a little bit and then get a baseline and then eventually sell them. So regardless, curious to see how this shakes out, but it is very good to see the area trying to make sure they're on top of innovative ways to make sure housing completely stays affordable and continues to rank at the top of the list of one of the most affordable places to live in America. All right, that's all I have for you guys today. Again, if you are thinking about coming down to Northwest Arkansas, download my 3-day itineraries link below. Maybe you're a adventurer, maybe you're a sports person, maybe you're a foodie, maybe you're a sightseer, maybe you have kids, whatever it is. There's a 3-day itinerary link down below for you, so go ahead and download it and use it, get down here. Also, when you do come down here, I can give you a $10 tour so I can show you around the whole area. Plus, we can check out some homes for sale or for rent and see how far your dollar would go in Northwest Arkansas compared to where we're coming from. All right, guys, let's see the next one.